This is huge. This breakthrough might just change everything. Before I explain this breakthrough, let's take a dive down into the microscope into what cancer actually is. How does cancer work? Well, if we look down into a cell, you realize that within the nucleus, there is DNA. This DNA is packaged into the small units called chromosomes. And these chromosomes essentially have their genes within different loci. Loci is where the genes are. And essentially they're different genes. And these different genes have different functions. Some, known as oncogenes, are the ones that protect our cells from becoming cancerous or dividing uncontrollably. Cells usually regulate the rate at which they divide. However, when these genes become dysfunctional or mutated, they will actually become cancerous. However, in addition to just cancer, mutations actually play a role in the aging process. Now, evidence from this comes from a landmark study where they looked at the rate at which different animals actually accumulate these mutations. And they saw that rabbits, which accumulate 217 mutations per year, humans 47, mice 796, and whales, less than 10 per year, had very similar amounts of mutations at the end of life, regardless of their size and of course the amount of years. Mice living 3 years versus whales which live 200 years. Again, suggesting that apart from the fact that whales don't get cancer and cancer is directly correlated with mutations, lifespan and aging itself might also be directly correlated with the rate at which they accumulate mutations. But why? Why is it that different animals have different mutation rates, less cancer, or live longer? Well, it turns out that it's all down to DNA repair. Our DNA is subject to over 10,000 different mutations every single day in every single cell. So of course our cells have developed different mechanisms to deal with them. However, even these mechanisms are not perfect, and these imperfections lead down to mutations or a change in the DNA code. So logically, scientists said, can we improve our own DNA repair? And an arms race against cancer and aging began. Logically, we tried everything from genetic engineering, changing our own DNA, from co-opting different animals' DNA repair, to using pharmaceutical interventions to improve our DNA repair, but to no avail, not very effective. So other scientists began asking questions such as, why does our species never die? And why are our sperm cells, or germ cells as we call them, or sex cells, immortal? Why don't they age? And it turns out that the reason is because they have very low mutation rates, 2 orders of magnitude lower than the rest of our body. So that means 2,000 times less mutations than our body. So scientists began to say, well, if we have those abilities in our sperm cells, can we also co-opt them in the rest of our body? And it turns out the answer is yes. So there's this complex of proteins known as the gene complex. The complex is essentially just a bunch of proteins that have a function together. And when this gene complex is activated in the rest of our bodies, it essentially prevents DNA repair as efficiently. So by inhibiting or preventing this complex from working, the scientists were able to improve DNA repair up to 2 orders of magnitude higher than the rest of the body. This basically means that a 100-year-old would only have 47 mutations throughout their entire lifespan. To put that into perspective, it would be the exact same amount of mutations that a 1-year-old has. And that would basically mean that you have the exact same chances of getting cancer as a 1-year-old. Essentially none. Well, I hope this breakthrough made you as excited as it made me, and if so, please drop the subscribe button and I'll keep you posted on breakthroughs that occur in the world of endocrinology, biology in general, chemistry, physics, and even computer science. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.